Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Raiders of the Lost Flicks Live. I'm your host, the Groovinator, a.k.a. Adam Wilcox of raidersofthelostflicks.com. Remember, if it's a bad movie, we want to know about it, where we also talk about sci-fi horror and, of course, our favorite TV show at the moment, The Expanse. And I am here with my awesome co-hosts, in no particular order, Flair X, the professor himself, and Nick Tam from the World Class Bullshitters. Welcome back, fellas.
Howdy.
So we're here to talk about Winnipesaukee. I took time to learn how to pronounce this today, so please, everybody, just pat me on the back for finally getting that right.
Did you find a Native American? Is that what you had to do? You had to
I practiced with Flair X. He was my diction coach. He actually walked me through sounding out the syllables to make sure it was right. And the other thing I want to mention too is I want to just a special mention to this character right here. This is Hutch.
Hey,
this character is awesome in this episode. Okay, just
nice.
Absolutely awesome, Hutch. I love how this show makes like secondary, third, ancillary characters seem so memorable. That is something this show has done very well. We'll be talking about Hutch in vivid detail as the time progresses here. But before we get into that, I think what we should probably talk about is just
another badass female character
in this show. This show is the one show that gets these things right. But I think Flair, why don't you go first this time? Initial reactions. What did you think of this episode, Winnipesaukee?
I loved it. I mean, after kind of dawdling the last couple of episodes, I think the pacing was good. I think it told a more full story. It kind of enlarged the way people react to things, because people were taking different roles, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That, Peaches being a peacemaker instead of, well, then she killed everybody.
Peach is the peacemaker. Peach is the peacemaker, dude. That sounds like a video game title, doesn't it? It's like Peach is the peacemaker versus Blanca. Round one, fight.
And then she becomes the final boss and kills everyone.
Oh my God!
You're not kidding, man. You're not kidding.
And the line is, "Remind me not to piss her off."
Right?
I will just,
dude, Eric is starting to become one of my favorite new characters. Can we just?
No, he is, man. He is, and it makes me kind of sad. I wish I had a little bit more of him, just a little bit more,
I actually had to look up the actor's name. The guy he definitely does not have another hand. Jacob Mundell is the name of Eric. So
yeah,
I
wasn't aware of that.
Remember, Nick, they discussed him in one of the after shows.
Yeah, they did. They
specifically went out and sought out a gentleman with that limitation. And I thought, that was a great way to keep it real, for lack of a better.
Well, I mean, it's I look at it personally. I look at it as kind of a two-edged sword. It's like I understand what they were doing, and it's good that they got an actor who has a limitation and they could give him an opportunity like this. Very good, 100%. But also understand that, like, if they didn't do this, it would be a guy in a green glove. They'd have to delete everything, and it would cost them money.
Yeah.
So in the end, they probably got, to be entirely realistic about this, they probably got somebody cheap who had this limitation that they sought after, who was an actor, who had some experience, and they put him in the show, and they didn't have to digitally remove a hand for hours on end. So it's good, but also there's another aspect to it.
You can also claim that a victory for the representation element of it too. But you're probably right, Nick. It's probably closer to what you're saying. But I'm really starting to like this guy a lot.
Which I mean, and not to shit on the Expanse, because they've been very inclusive, and it's a very good show because everybody can enjoy it regardless. But that's kind of for somebody who's made a couple movies and done and like seen how these things are made.
You're looking at the technical level.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the technical aspect of it, because like to do that, to remove a green hand. Yeah,
I'm gonna say I think they admitted that. It was,
I think you're right.
got him originally because we didn't have to green screen this out.
Yeah.
And then he's a great actor. He's a good friend of one of the cast. And it was hilarious how Wes was talking about it. He goes, and you saved money, didn't you? You
The reason I'm starting to like this character is like you can tell this is Amos's brother just by the sense of humor. Their sense of humors are very like comparable. You know what I mean? Like there's I don't want to spoil it just yet. But there's some things that he says in this episode that's like that is such an Amos line.
His recurring use of the name Timmy.
Yep, Timmy.
Just to needle.
Yeah.
Just to remind you might be, Amos Burton, wherever the fuck it is you come from, but to me, you'll always be Timmy.
In fucking Baltimore, you're Timmy, motherfucker.
You're still fucking Timmy where we come from, yeah. Nick, initial thoughts. What'd you think of this episode?
I dug it a little bit more than the last few. We're getting. Once again, like I think this last episode is going to be action packed and just ridiculous. Flair probably knows the answer to that more than anybody. But I'm praying that there's whatever. I'm praying that there's no cliffhanger for season 6, even though we got notification.
There's going to be a cliffhanger in.
Okay, but not like a major one, not like season 1 cliffhanger. Okay, where like.
Not like Walking Dead, the reveal of Negan, like killing somebody at the end of it, like having to spend an entire year waiting to figure out who the hell got killed.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm hoping for. Like, just don't do that. Like,
that was cheap.
Oh God, it was so cheap, so fucking cheap. But I mean, like, that's what I don't want. I mean, and once again, even if they do it, I'll still like bend over and take it because I love the show and it's fine. It's been good so far. I think this season's been a little too slow for me, but once again, it's Expanse, and I think if I binge watch it, I'll be fine. It's just watching it every week is kind of like broken up and made me think more about the episodes. And I don't like that. I just kind of want to watch all the way through and enjoy it. But whatever.
We've been spoiled by the binge watch, but the fun part, the fun factor that we've inherited though is the excitement, wondering what's going to happen next week, figuring out what's happened so far, and where you think it's going to go. Like
even though the professor over there knows everything, he's read the books.
He does, but even the professor has admitted off air that he's surprised by some of the choices they make sometimes.
That's good.
There's always a few little tweaks that they make.
What it really boils down to is they have to make it work for television, and so
100%.
That's the joys I find of having the authors, of the books as the writers of the series. They're more capable to make the decisions on the fly, to take literary license with their own work and go, here's how it would have been in the book, but I think it works better this way. Case in point, Drummer. I love her. I love her character. I love her strength. I love her weaknesses. I love that character. And she's not in the books the way she is in the series.
Yeah.
So,
I love Drummer's characters and weaknesses too.
Don't say!
So
yeah, initial thoughts. This one had a much better pace than last week's. Thankfully, because we were just kind of complaining that the last week was just a little bit of a slog to get through. You know what I mean? It was. Yeah. It wasn't really quite as. We've had so. I think part of the problem with this particular season, it's a minor problem, but. Episode 4, Guacamela, was so...
Go Gamela.
I'll never get that one. Hey, at least I got this week's episode pronounced
it's not
right.
Guacamole,
Guacamole. Okay.
I love guac.
I do too. Who doesn't love guac?
You want some queso with that guac?
Episode 4. Okay, I'm just going to call it 504 from now on. Fuck you.
That's fine. That's fine.
504s. So, yeah, after 504, all right, there was so much happening in that episode that everything else just seemed to pale in comparison. You know what I mean? It's like the momentum had been heightened. I think most of the season's budget went into that episode, because a lot of what we're seeing here is like it's bottle episodes where they're making things based on budget, budget constraints. You know what I mean? Like you feel a little bit of that, just a little bit. It's not so bad, but this one had a lot more action. Things were a lot faster. There were some reveals. I don't feel like they're just holding all of their cards until the very last episode of the season. So I'm a little bit more. There was a really rollicking escape scene. We're going to talk about that. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Wait, no. Well, I want to ask you this before we get into it. Did you notice the escape scene was all one take? Yeah. It
was John Wick style, dude. Dude, I felt like I was
1917 style.
Correct. Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's just get right into it right now. Let's just get right into it right now. A lot of things happen this episode. I'm going to say these things out of order because I think what we want to do is talk about what we like in order of how much we like it. All right. So let's get to that escape scene. Okay. Peaches takes the I'm going to call them the Baltimore gang because I don't really know what the actual gang is called. You can fill me on that later, Flair. All right, so the Baltimore gang and Amos all go to the name of this episode, which is Winnipesaukee. All right,
it is a private lake in New Hampshire. I was just guessing at it being from like a callback to. Prairie Home Companion.
By the way, we do have somebody in the chat. Elvis is back in the chat, just so you know.
Elvis has entered the chat. Thank you, Elvis, for being here. Episode was the best because
entered the building.
Welcome to the Bella. Absolutely. So, but anyway, they get to they just walk up to a random house. The staff is still in the house. Okay. They find him. The staff is not putting up any kind of a resistance. In fact, they make dinner for them, which I thought was a little odd. But then again, this is Amos we're talking about. This is Amos and Peaches. Only Amos and Peaches could pull some shit off like this.
Yeah,
like,
and the most Amos and Peaches would have done to them is leave them there. That's the most they would have done.
Yeah.
And they would have. I mean, like, yeah, they're both people who would feel for them and be like, yeah, if we can't get the ship going, we're at least going to put you back, put you in our tribe and carry you on because they're the workers of the house.
Which is a decent thing to do. Yeah.
To me, it was a haul back to normalcy. These people wanted normal so badly that they were creating normal by just survival. And that's
raw survival at that, yeah.
Is make the insane normal.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, anyways, they get to the first ship, and of course, the damn thing doesn't start because why would it? All right. I mean, since when does anything in this universe ever go anybody's way?
We would not get the final boss if we and the shakedown if they could just fly away.
Now,
come on,
you just made an excellent segue. Let's talk about Shakedown, okay? Shakedown. While they're at this thing and they're working on the ship, the local security comes towards the island, and they're outside. They got guns, and they're like, "Hi, we're the local security. We think it would be a great idea if everybody just gave me your food so that we could store it all in one place and then distribute it as people need it." And okay, I want to say the actors' names right. Okay, this is the first really good joke that we get out of Hutch. Okay, played by Amanda Cordner. I'm going to share her image right now so we know who we're talking about when I say this. Okay, yeah, here we go. Amanda, she says that was the weakest shakedown I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
That was clearly an Amos line, okay?
She keeps like yelling at them, saying, "Oh yeah, you're rent-a-cop, you're rent-a-cop, you're rent-a-cop, you're rent-a-cop," and I'm just like, "Yep." And like even me sitting there watching them, I'm just like, "What are they doing right now? What are they trying to do?"
They're renting a foot disease,
dude.
what are you really doing?
It was a real, because I told you guys, not many TV shows get me like yelling at the TV screen while I'm watching it, but this is one of them. I'm like, are you shaking these people down? I'm like, is this a Walking Dead moment here? You know, is like one tribe trying to shake down the other tribe, and that's exactly what it was. I want to take a real quick second to acknowledge the chat thus far. As we said, we got Elvis here, we've got Now White, Explosive Merv. Glad to see you guys back, by the way. Thank you for coming back in.
Hey, Loitering in Wonderland. Hey, man, how you doing?
Loitering in Wonderland has stopped by too. Absolutely, and I will try to get there as soon as humanly possible so we can talk about They Live.
Well, he's streaming this live stream on that review stream. So.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Thank you for expanding our forces, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, these. If you guys are wondering who Loitering Wonderland Studios is, definitely go to their YouTube channel. I do stuff with them on their show as well. I love every minute of it. The band got back together. We had a ball last night. We did a 3-hour stream, so it was great. So talking about the Twilight Zone. So anyways, so we're on the island, and then of course we flash, because we cut away and go to other things. We go to Avasarala's. Avasarala has figured out that they don't show it right away, but they do show this giant memorial, okay? And they have a digital memorial where you can just like take your phone and take a name and throw it in. It's all the people that got lost in the attack from Marco and Naros and the rocks that hit the planet and everything. And it just this monument just goes. It's a digital virtual monument that just goes as high as the eye can see, like all of the lives that have been lost. She goes into a meeting and finds out that the Secretary of Defense, did I get it right?
No, he is the Secretary General of the United Nations.
Secretary General, okay, the new Secretary General, the one that did their awesome speech last week, went behind chrisjen's back and went ahead and ordered the strike for, what do we say? It was Palace. They were going to attack Palace Station. Not only hit Palace Station, they're looking for the second target, and they haven't even hit the first target yet.
Yeah, they wanted. Yeah, they're talking about hitting Ceres as well, and I'm just like, yeah. And Ceres, I think Ceres is a bigger belter. There are more belters there than there were on Eros. I think Eros, they said there were like 100,000 or something. But I think on Ceres there's like probably 1 million or more. I forget the number exactly, but it's way up there. So and she's it's funny. It's funny you talk about people changing things like that, especially Avasarala, because we saw her in the first episode like hanging a belter by the hooks with gravity and like screwing with him and like doing all this stuff, and now she's advocating for like like being diplomatic. She's like, oh, let's create a faction between the belters that don't hate us. Let's get them in. Let's pull them in and let's have conversation and try to get them on our side and be like, listen, help us find an Naro so we can get over this shit. And the new Secretary General's like, no.
You and I talked about that at great length too. Like when I first started watching the show, I couldn't understand chrisjen's motivations. Like I'm like, is this the villain or the good guy or the bad guy? And it's just part of the ongoing narrative of the show is that the good guys and the bad guys are not always completely cut and dry.
What she needs to be when she needs to be it.
Correct.
Yeah. Also, thank you, Elvis. Ceres has 6 million 6 million population. Thank you for that.
It's getting out of control, and chrisjen basically just jumps up and says, I quit. I don't want no part of this. And he's like, are you resigning? He's like, yes, sir, I am. And then immediately, like half the fucking cabinet just stands up and says, well, I resign too. And because she said she has a really good speech. She says, I just found out that I lost my husband. So we found out that her husband didn't make it. Okay, apparently all this happened off screen. She figured it out. She waited till now to reveal it. Yeah. But she made a really good, important moment. And this is a turning point here for this character. I lost my husband, but I still haven't lost sight of the bigger picture, which is that lives are going to be sacrificed in the name of what? You know what I mean? What are we trying to do here? We're going to counteract losing our lives by taking more of their lives. Where does it ever end? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I disagree with you, Elvis. I think Chrisjen would have been more apt to blow everything away in season 1 than she is now, because I think she's more human. I think she's been, she's got a deeper sense of herself and a deeper sense of loss that she didn't have before, even with losing her son.
Yeah, because her son was also killed by Belter terrorists, I think, or something. So like she's lost her son and her husband now to Belters, and for her in that cabinet saying, "Don't kill them," she's evolved her view of just because in the beginning, in the very first episode, the very first season, she's like, Earth must survive. Earth is all that we have, and now she's like humanity.
Yeah.
To me,
Earth is a small cog in a big, a much bigger machine.
If you really look at her, she's kind of had the same arc Winston Churchill had. That he went from being very much of a war fighter, I've got to fight the next war, and being prepared for the next war, to being an elder statesman and putting himself, in a position where it was like, wait, do we really need to do this? So, it's I can see the historical side of it, I guess, and draw those comparisons.
We were kind of talking about this a little bit off air, but the whole, like a couple of seasons ago, back when she was actually running for the office that she lost to, she was willing to go a step too far just to get into that office. You know what I mean? And her own husband said, "Hey, you're losing sight of the bigger picture here. It's like you're willing to pull strings and bend the rules and do things to
and that's why she was courting Felix, the admiral, because she needs that counterpoint and someone to stand up.
Right, she doesn't have that anymore. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Because I think her husband got mad because she used her son as like a political talking point, saying I've lost. Yeah, because it was in season 4 is what it was.
That's right.
And I remember that because everybody kind of floated up. We're talking about what she said and really sympathizing with her. And her husband, I think in that episode is like kind of like I gotta leave. I'm gonna go to Luna or something. I think he had to leave and go somewhere because he was just tired of it. He's like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. But it's funny because her husband made her do it.
But in this one, we don't see that Chrisjen anymore. We see a Chrisjen that's been broken. But she still hasn't lost sight of the bigger picture, which in this case is definitely clear as day. Humanity is what matters most here, and she's the only one that's willing to stand up and say it and point it out. Like, what are we doing here? We're fighting fire with fire. You know what I mean? This is not going to this is only going to get worse.
And it's a game of escalation.
Yes.
So if we do this, he's going to do what? He's already hit Earth with rocks. Is he going to hit Luna with rocks now too? Where does that escalation and that constant one-upsmanship end?
Well, it seems like even when he pulls up his the hologram thing, he's still going towards the fucking gate or whatever the thing. Yeah. Because you can see that because you can see his ships and then like there's a weird, really indirect like path there and he's trying to get there and I'm just like, how are you going to like? Is he gonna sacrifice the other Belter ships for him to get through and start?
I just hope we don't have to wait till next season to get that reveal, Nick.
Because you listen to what they're discussing and how many ships got destroyed. In breaking through, and he goes, and it's because we needed to, and they'll be heroes, and it's like what. And you just see him, and he, when he starts down the stairs, and he makes the comment to the comm tech that gave him the news. It's like, holy shit! And then he puts on the whole Napoleon part and goes, and it's great. It's for us, for us winning, and it's like.
Yeah, he's said that many times. It's like it was worth it. Every time like a pile of people die, it's like, well, it was part of the cause. I'm thinking, well, that's convenient. It wasn't your skin. It wasn't your son. So I there's a lot of great stuff going on in the chat here, but I want to get through the breakdown of the story first, and then we'll jump right into the discussion here because this is good stuff. I'm not ignoring any of you, by the way. So the other part that's going on is we've got Drummer's fleet has been ordered to destroy the Rocinante. Things are getting really rough on that side. Man. Okay, and at one point we were trying to decide because I watched it twice. They did take Drummer's gun away from her, okay, because she says, okay, well, you're not going to need to take your gun away from me. She's like, well, if you're not going to do anything, then you're not going to need the gun. Then we see her on one side of the glass talking to the lady with the ridiculous bun on top of her head that's really starting to piss me off. That girl is starting to really
that girl, that girl's making me mad too because she's playing it on a razor's edge.
She really is. Yeah, she is playing both sides of the fence, and it's going. And I'm hoping it's going to blow up in her face. I do.
Yeah, she's playing both sides of the fence, and it just.
Anna?
Yeah, I'm looking through the cast right now to see if I can remember.
Does Nacho has it down? Oksana?
Oksana? Oh yeah, okay, Oksana. Sandrine Holt. Okay, Oksana. Yep, that's her. Oksana. I've had just about enough of her, Buzz Nacho. I'm getting really tired.
I want
her shit. So there we go.
I so badly want Drummer and a gun to be introduced to this situation.
But what we're trying to figure out is Drummer in prison? Is she a prisoner? Does anybody know? Is she actually? Because at one point she's talking through the glass to Bun Lady Oksana. All right, trying to talk to her, and Oksana actually reveals that Naomi's not dead. Okay, she's still alive, but you can't do anything about it. Like she's gonna not do anything about it. I mean, she maybe can't, but she's torn right now between the family she has now and her love for Naomi. Like, where is this gonna go? You know what I mean? But
yeah, and that one lady was making sure that that Drummer loved them too, and she's like, of course I do. And I don't know if Drummer's playing a poker game or whatever, or trying to just be like, yeah, of course I do, and just like gonna offer later, but she was very convincing with it.
Okay, here we go. Elvis is answered right here. Oksana is keeping them safe. Drummer's being dumb, and no one is prisoner. Okay, all right, because we couldn't tell because she was on one side of the glass, and then she's talking to Oksana and opens it for a second, and then as soon as she tells her that Naomi's alive, she gets ready to run. She's like, but you can't do anything because, if you do anything, you love us, and not only will they kill you, they'll kill all of us as well. She's right about that, okay? Marco Naros has made it perfectly clear he will expend anybody's life to get whatever his goal is.
I think Drummer's gonna kill Corral, and then immediately message the Rossi and be like, "We're on your side," and start taking out the fucking free Navy ships that are there. I hope, anyways, because I think Drummer's got more than one ship, right? She's got like 2 or 3 ships.
She's got 4 or 5, I think.
Okay, and if they're all filled with Drummer's faction, if Drummer's faction is 3 or 4 ships, and you have the Rossi along with a couple other ones, besides like I'm not gonna count the Razorback as a ship because it doesn't have any guns. It's a racing ship. It's not gonna count. I think that they're going to do that. That's my prediction for the next episode. They're going to get real close and be like, we're on your side, and they'll start firing against the Free Navy. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Doc Auburn says right here, it says, it does seem like Oksana is being separated from Drummer by the glass for some reason. Yeah, we couldn't tell if she was...
I have the episode up, and she locks that door.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so she is a prisoner, yeah.
It's in the 31 minute range, and she's not free to leave.
Okay, I think she's locking the door for her own safety this way because Drummer's very like reactionary, as we've seen, because Drummer will shoot a motherfucker in the head. Yeah. Just out of spite. Like she's like that.
Just to prove a point.
That's why I fucking love her, because she'll do it and just like she's like the female Amos almost. And she's a little bit more, I think she's a little more gruff because of like the way she uses the Belter language and the way she, her demeanor and everything is just kind of a little more gruff.
Let's remind you of the Drummer that we know. That's the drummer we know. So just to emphasize that point a little bit farther, I'll probably have to cut that out later, but I don't care. It's worth it just to illustrate the point. But drummer has 3 ships followed by 2 that Marco sent, all 5 going to intercept the Rossi. So the Rossi has the biggest fucking target on it right now, and like, we've been so antsy for them to get back into space, and now I'm feeling stupid for even saying that, because it's like, now that they're out into space, like, everybody's out to get them, and they seem to be the last to know, as usual. But, okay, so the last piece of information I want to deliver, and then we're just going to get right into discussion stuff here. The last piece I need to remind everybody is that Bobby Draper and Alex Kamal are on their way to Naomi, despite watching 40 minutes of her MacGyver the shit out of that signal to get them to warn her away. All right, they're still en route because there's nobody there to tell them not to go, and they're the closest ones. Naomi sees them coming, and she's like frustrated beyond belief because
she MacGyvered that too.
She can't. That's the other thing she's doing, and she's scraping ice off of the outside, like towards the hull, just to get the water off of it to keep from dying right now. She has no food. She's scraping ice just to let it melt so that she can drink like 2 or 3 little drops of water after it melts on her data pad. She's still doing that thing with the suit where she's carving the initial on the door and then going back in her, but this time she's just scraping a little bit of ice off of there, and she actually sees the wire, as Flair mentioned earlier. She sees the wire that's making the signal, and it's just, things seem very hopeless for Naomi. But for people that were complaining about there was too much Naomi in the last episode, there's not near as much Naomi in this episode. So.
True. But also, like, the thing of her seeing the wire like slightly like opened with the shielding kind of gone, it's like Naomi's beyond that. Like, she could just cut the shielding if she needed to. I don't see why that was like a point of like.
Made it perfectly clear that she knows as much about these ships that she can pretty much probably build one with her eyes closed.
No, she can. She can build one with blindfolded with one hand behind her back. Like, she is that capable. But all of a sudden, she's lying on the ground in total despair. And I guess I don't know. Maybe she's just like totally distraught. And she finally sees like a thing of hope, which is that little piece of like wire cut off or something with the shielding exposing the wire.
Is either been rubbed off or something, and she can hack that. She can, jerry rig that so that she can.
Let's also get back to my favorite part of the episode, guys. So back to Earth, which is where all the fun stuff is happening in this episode. Back on Earth, back on whatever the hell it's called. Winnipesaukee. Okay. When I don't have it up in front of me, I can't sound it out. So I closed that tab down. But back at Winnipesaukee, the police come. They Peaches comes out, and she's the negotiator. She's like, we don't have to do any more killing here today. Let's just walk away. They let these guys walk away, and as soon as they walk away, they're like, they're coming back. And it's like, well, of course they are. But maybe we'll be off of here before they come back. So the show's literally setting up what's going to happen later. Like, they know this shit's going to go down. The tactical smart thing would have been to just drop all of them. But like we said, they're on some kind of redemption arc because they're like, let's just not kill them. Let's let them go away, and then we'll just deal with them later. Well, lo and behold, when they're trying to fix the ship, Amos is out there when they're outside smoking or whatever, and he goes out to get some fresh air, and all of a sudden he figures out, oh yeah, it's the power coupling. So he goes back inside, and Eric's like, we're leaving in 15 minutes, So everybody shows up. They're pushing people on board. Bang! All of a sudden, guards start getting dropped by sniper rifles, okay? And all of a sudden, the whole tree line up above them just lights up. Like, they came back with some friends. They went and found some people.
Yeah, apparently they did. Or I'm sure what happened is they lied to some of the other security people that are on the island, and they're like, these guys are the ones like taking all the food. They have all this stuff. We need to go get it. I'm sure they lied to them, and we're not going to get that.
Some bullshit. Right. Okay.
Some bullshit, but they brought friends and lots of clips of ammunition. So
well, it's the rule of lead in a apocalyptic situation, that those with the lead get all the goods, those without the lead get jack shit or dead.
This scene in this show right here reminded me so much of like Call of Duty. All right, because I've been playing Call of Duty lately. I've been playing Cold War. All right, I started the campaign.
How is it? How is it?
It's good. All right, and
Really?
the reason I say Cold War especially is because some of the more recent Call of Duty titles have started messing around a little bit with stealth. Like there are certain levels where you're supposed to stay in the shadows. You're not supposed to be seen, because if you do, you're going to have a moment exactly like the one that Amos and Peaches are going through, and the whole Baltimore gang getting just shot to shit by the entire tree line trying to escape. Amos is firing back with a shotgun. How tactically smart is that? What does he think he's going to hit in the middle of the dark by firing a shotgun at the tree
we
line?
don't know. We don't know what he's shooting. We don't know if
It's like a shotgun to me.
Well, okay. What I'm saying is we don't know the rounds. We don't know if it's slugs or birdshot. If it's slugs,
Right,
he's fine.
Or
But if it's
flechette rounds.
yeah,
I mean, there's a whole lot he could be firing. It looks like he's just blasting. I ran it back a couple times and just watched him shooting, and it's more indicative of buckshot or something like that.
okay. So yeah,
Now, I mean, United States military carries shotguns. They're usually used in breaching situations, but they're also great for close quarters combat.
Right.
And I mean, there may have been people closer to him that they don't show because the point of view, he's moving so fast that, what was he shooting at something you didn't see? I don't know.
But what we see is a really glorious
automatic weapon, personally.
one-shot sequence that ends with a lot of the Baltimore gang getting dropped on the way to the shuttle.
Yep. Let's wait for takeoff if you want.
So let's go back to this again, all right? Because this was such an awesome scene, with Amanda Corder here, all right? She gets shot in the back, all right, as they're trying to escape. And Amos is dragging her, and as she's being dragged with a bullet in her back, she's firing forward with a handgun. It was so Aliens, it was fucking ridiculous, dude. That scene was so out of Aliens, man.
But yeah, because I mean, like that, like, and once again, like if you guys like one shots and things in that technical nature, go watch a movie called 1917. I think there's only one time. There's only one time where it splits.
Yeah,
there's only really one time.
There's one part of the movie where he blacks out and then wakes up again.
Yeah,
and
but other than
that's
that,
the
I
only
mean,
transition. But other than that, it's a one take movie. But yeah, this is like a continuous. It was a great scene, dude.
Awesome movie.
Yeah,
dude. Because I remember, because the only reason I watched it was because of that, because it was technically amazing, and it was I mean, 1917. Go watch it, check it out, buy the Blu-ray, watch the BTS. It's worth it. Anyways, back to the Expanse.
No, so I'm really enjoying this character. Amos drags her onto the shuttle, and then back to Eric. He says something really funny, like, "Okay, I'm gonna ventilate the doohickeys." He's like, "Oh, fuck that!" And he just hits the button and just lights up the whole fucking house, and all the gas and all other just flames everywhere, and they fucking take off right off into orbit. It's glorious. It was fucking great. It was great.
Well, I mean, I guess the owners of the house weren't actually thinking of the house. They were thinking of like the ship as a last-ditch effort, because it blew fucking everything up. Even the house got torn up a little bit, like it was in a nuclear blast or something.
Oh, the house was totaled. Yeah,
the house was well fucked, and it's one of those things where it's like that must have been their last-ditch effort. It's like, if things go to shit, we can get to space.
It was a very, very exciting scene, guys. I loved this scene so much. I wanted to just go back and just watch just the scene. But I'm this actor, as far as we know, this character made it. I don't want to see this character die. I think she's funny and fun, and I was getting that whole vibe, that part where in Aliens where they're going through the tunnel, he's like, "You always were an asshole, Gorman," and I didn't you get that vibe? Like, just the way
dude.
that whole thing played out like it was like a slash between Aliens and that whole like Call of Duty, like just those moments where you're like in the middle of a cinematic and you have to like fire a couple of bullets and somebody's dragging you away. It's like one of those. It was great.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. Yeah, it was a great sequence. I'm watching the after show on YouTube. Apparently it was like negative 34, 35 degrees when they were shooting this, and they did it more than once.
Wow.
From what I hear, I want to say they did it 3 times when they did it, and you're talking about the reset on something like this is hours. It's hours. It's not minutes or whatever. It's hours. Because you have to reset everything. The squibs, the snow, the shells, the guns, the people, everything has to be reset. Even if they punch holes, like shoot through doors or whatever, they have to replace those and then start back to 1. So it's a pain, but I mean I think it's worth it because it just intensifies the action and the emotion of that scene so well to where you're just like, they haven't stopped, because like about 5 or 10 minutes in, you're like, they haven't cut yet. This is a oneer. This is a damn oneer right here.
Okay, the only other thing I think I need to mention before we start going into the chat discussion here is also Philip knows his mom's not dead because Marcos told him. Marcos told you.
And Marcos manipulated him.
Yeah, he manipulated like, as we
yeah.
thought he did. He's like, so she just left us again, for the second time. So don't know where that's going to go. Well, I'm sure we'll find out. So let's get into the chat here. First one was Elvis says episode 4 was the best because Marco is the best. Welcome to Polly. Yeah, that review of episode 4 I think is like 833 views right now. So yeah, we had a lot of fun talking about that one. That was definitely the highlight
that one, dude, yeah.
of the season so far. There's only one more episode, so it's going to take an awful lot to go over that one.
Bobby Draper and fucking Alex haven't left the Razorback.
No.
Since
we've spent like
4.
5 episodes just watching them talk for like a 15 fucking seconds.
God, no, wait, no, they may have been since episode 2 or 3. I don't know. Yeah, since episode 2 or 3, I think they've been in the Razorback.
Okay, Null White says this show's starting to piss me off, dragging on, and I agree about budget limits.
Yeah.
I felt it more in the last episode, but I agree with you a little bit on that one. Yeah, it's kind of showing some of its budget constraints in spots. I don't think it's badly shot.
I don't think it's budget constraints because what Flair's been telling us, and he's read this book, is like this is the book, and it's like the most boring book out of the 5 that he's read so far. Out of the 5 we've had the things for. So I mean, I think they're copying this season really well, but that's the problem is that they're copying the season really well. They're adding a little bit more flair to it.
They're going off the source material, and the source material is mediocre compared to previous entries.
I don't think you want more flair. That would be a bad thing.
I got my singles, buddy. Don't.
Only Flair knows for sure. Explosive Merv says, "Evening, lads, and welcome back to you. And glad you came back to hang out with us, buddy. Lording in Wonderland, Alcoa Goodyear Theater, better than the Expanse. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're lying to me. If you guys wonder what they're talking about, what I used to do on Wednesday nights is we did something called Anthology Review, where we go back and watch anthology TV shows, things that are similar to like Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Friday the 13th, the series, Twilight Zone. Phoenix West, who runs the show, has found some really obscure, like made-for-TV episodes sponsored by certain things like Alcoa and Westinghouse, and these theaters are usually there to advertise a product, but also show you a show. That was kind of how they used to do things. Some of them are boring as shit, and some of them are really good. Most of them are boring as shit. But no, it's fun to watch these old shows and disseminate them. So pretty sure it's not better than The Expanse. Just saying. So I like this Amos story. He let Clarissa try to redeem herself because she feels like she needs it. And he's thinking, well, maybe I do too. Yeah, there's kind of like, you're seeing Amos play like the, like he's giving a shit. You know what I mean? Like he's doing what James Holden used to do for him. You know what I mean? Or Naomi used to do for him. It's like he's paying that forward, So
yeah, and I do hope they all get together by the end, but at some point in the last episode, because I would love to see that. They'll need to be in the roasty. The roasty's feeling fucking empty over here.
Well, and I think Amos is also, he knows that he can't be the moral compass of anybody, because he knows that he needs somebody to latch on to hold his moral compass in the, because you watched him when those guys were shaking him down. He had a wrench. He was gonna go all badass
Yeah.
on
He
it.
knows he can't be a good guy, but he can. The way he deals with that is he chooses to help people that he thinks is good. You know what I mean? Like help them stay good.
Well,
You know?
Yeah.
he can be the bad guy so that the good guy can be the good guy.
I still love that line where he says, "You're not that guy," and then he gets that
I
push that
am.
guy. Said he goes, "I am that guy." Bam,
Oh
bam,
yeah,
bam.
that was the
Season
plant
3?
dude, the biologist. Damn
Yeah,
it, I
the
forget his name.
biologist. Yeah, he had it coming too, man. Let's see. Buzz Nacho. Hey, welcome. Cheers, guys. All right, so what else we got here? Series has 6 million population. We mentioned that earlier. Yeah, so we don't, and I think, wasn't somebody on their way to Series 2 at some point? I don't remember who it was, though.
I think it was the general who wanted to, the general who is part of Avasarala's cabinet now, wanted to go to Sirius and bomb it, but she's like, you haven't been in combat in 20 years. Why are you going now? Stay here and help me. So she was trying to.
Boy, that guy did a 180 quick, didn't he? Though at first it seemed like he
Well,
wanted to keep
when-
the peace, and then he's like, "Yeah, no, fuck it, let's bomb him to hell." Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, when regimes change that quickly, you gotta kind of do what you gotta do.
I guess so. See, Doc Auburn says, now that Palace has been destroyed, where will the Belter princesses sleep? Okay. I think that Avasarala would do the same as season 1. Avasarala would do the same as season 5. Avasarala, she was always a strategist.
True.
She was a strategist.
I see her growing as a character, though. I just do. And this is what she had said in the first season. Belter must come first. All right, Doc Auburn says, no matter how many Belters are killed, their sacrifice will be worth it as long as Marco ascends to godhood. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. It's the Napoleon complex.
I'm because the little things I've seen in the episodes and him constantly like bringing up the fucking hologram of going to the ring. And like he'll look at it and like kind of endearingly, like it's like his fucking golden jewel. And then as soon as somebody says something, he'll put it down and like go to do something else. I'm like, he's trying to make a run to go to one of those planets and just be there and not tell anybody and just escape entirely.
Well, but it is a great defensive tactic. Go through the ring, you know, and then turn yourself around. And you can kill anybody coming through.
Yeah.
You know, so it is sound tactics. You know, it is a good strategy in a lot of respects. But how many people is he going to sacrifice to get that accomplished? And I think that's
okay.
where.
So you think you think he's gonna go into the ring and then turn around and try to fire people coming through, or do you think he's trying to like just kind of try to find his own planet, and just be like, peace him out?
I see with what he's done.
Yeah.
With what he's done, I don't think he'll ever find peace because people
Gotcha.
are going to constantly come after him.
Gotcha.
I mean, so he has to, you know, make the best of a bad situation. He knows if he has any, you know, two brain cells to rub together, which obviously he does. You know, he's going to have to think about the fact that he's going to be chased for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So he has to make a stand at some point, and the easiest way is these ships can only, you know, go through a certain amount of space in that ring. You know, it's, you know, common sense to go through it, turn your ass 180 degrees around. Well, and since those missiles can be shot off bore, I mean, he can shoot. He can still be fleeing and fire his missiles.
And if we learned anything from season 4, going through and landing on one of those planets isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
Elvis says she sacrificed her friend and ambassador to Mars to avoid a war and bombing Mars stations. In season 1 already, she's the same, only now with the usual strategy. She feels situations more. Okay, Elvis, Marco has Medina and equipped with many weapons.
Does he have
five
Medina?
5 Belter ships faced with MCRN, heavy frigate, and 2 UNN cruiser. lost 4 Belter ships, killed the heavy frigate and cruiser. Actually enters, should be worried. You take notes on this shit better than I do.
Yeah. Elvis is the man. You know, he's the one writing.
You got this put together. See, so he says,
and that I'm pretty sure he watches the episode 5 times and then listens to us ramble on about it randomly.
I think I highlighted this one earlier as keeping them safe, drummers being dumb, and no one is prisoner. I don't know, man. I think she was behind some glass for a reason. I'm not really sure.
That was an odd scene, and I don't know.
We weren't really sure on that one. It was kind of not communicated well. Marco also has one of their crew hostage during their crew exchange.
That's true. I forgot about that.
We all forgot about it. Yeah, so they had the student exchange there. So, it does seem like Osaka is separated from drummer by the glass for some reason. Yeah, that's what we kind of determined.
I still say, and I went back and I looked at it. I can give you a timestamp on the show, but I would swear to you she's locked in.
Who knows, man? It's hard to say. It really is hard to say.
Lori, we miss you too. You need to start watching The Expanse. That's all I'm going to say. It's the last time I'm going to tell you. Even his drummer doesn't love them. She can't get them all killed because Naomi. Yeah, that's the dilemma that she's facing right. She can, but it would not make her look good.
I think, and I hate to say this, but I think there's going to be at least a main character sacrificed in this last episode. I want to say it's going to happen. I don't know who. The obvious one is Alex, but even that I don't know, but we'll see.
All right, we highlighted this one earlier. We also highlighted this one. This one, they'll give Corral the main ship. Oops, it's headed right towards the chain smoker. Boom. Give up the ship, get rid of Corral. Win-win. Absolutely.
Yeah, just make the make the reactor go critical like they do with a lot of the other ones they've done so far.
Naomi should wear that suit, then open the air tank wide and try to fill the suit with as much air as possible, and then jump ship when Razorback arrives to detonation radius. Why was that hard to say? Words are hard today.
That seems like what's going to happen. Like we're going to get that sequence of her like stepping out and just like I don't know. So I feel like that might happen.
After episode 4, I predicted that she was going to sacrifice herself to save her son, but I'm not thinking that maybe she's going to go that direction this time. I think there's
it's hard.
I think there's still another season left of Naomi here. I would be surprised if Carol was accidentally killed during the fight with the Razi. Yeah, no shit. Oops, I fell out of an airlock. It shit happens. You know what I mean? Space is big, right? People in space.
Somebody pressed the button. Who knew?
I bumped up against the wall when we were shooting.
Blinking red button. What does it do?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Push it. Oh! Oopsies.
We're horrible people. That gunshot, the one shot was hilarious. Yeah, we loved that gunfight. It was great. That was some primo action there that we were definitely missing in the previous episode. The issue with trying to shoot them all at first is that our squad might take some casualties, and if either Eric, Amos, or Peaches dies, it's unlikely they get the ship working. Yeah.
That's true.
That is definitely true. Where are we at? Okay, so... Yeah, Peaches, you tried to extend the tribe one too many times. Yeah, you can only take so many people with you, and some of these people need to, pull their weight, That's going to be a tight ship, man.
Well, no. A lot of them did die, so it is it is a little bit lighter than it was when it was going. When had 30 people being like, "Let's all go up to space, it'll be fine." It's like, no, get the fuck off.
Yeah, most of the Baltimore gang's fucking gone at this point. It's just Eric.
I was waiting for Amos to pull a 300 and be like, "This is my ship," and get the fuck off.
This is my ship.
This
yeah. As a military, I have to say that the shootout was well done given the circumstances. They did the best they could. Yeah, I mean, if that's the only gun you got, you're going to at least fire back at once or twice, right?
Yeah, and go figure. Amos gets hurt again. I was like, please tell me that they took out his eye, and I was like, okay, he got shot real close to it, and he's fine. Okay.
Yes, Doc Auburn says it, but at least they saved all of the scullery maids and butlers. And the upside of that is that Amos will not have to do the dishes in the next episode. So got that going for him.
And I mean those scullery maids, they're a loose bunch. They're a loose bunch.
You know that for a fact,
one of the Baltimore gang that was hitting on what was it, the daughter or
yeah.
except for and Amos goes, yeah, you can get laid on his own time. Oops, he took her around the forehead. He ain't gonna get.
Don't
laid.
you love how Amos is like the father figure to like all this whole ragtag group?
It's weird. It's weird because he's become that now,
right? Yeah, I'm
because
buying
he
it.
wasn't
though.
that before, and like now he's just like, hey, get it's like get the hell back in there.
Get laid on your own time. Yeah.
Love it.
This one shot remind me a lot of Children of Men. Never seen
That's
it.
That's a wonderful movie. I think that movie has like 3 or 4 one-shots in it, and I think theirs are ridiculously complicated. One of them happens in a car with like the camera and on like a 360 motor. They were like with a controller. They kept doing stuff. It was insane. It's such a good movie.
Sounds great. I'm gonna check that out. Fuck this. All I can say is There Goes the Neighborhood. Yeah, it was a great scene. It was. He's just like,
it wasn't the neighborhood.
This.
It was it was that
the whole estate. Yeah.
That estate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love I love how like the ship took off and burned all the fucking security guys. The guys are trying to like us, get in there. It's like
They were running away, and oops, there it's called KFC, baby, cooking with cat.
Peaches did nothing wrong. It all depends on what the show will do as a consequence. Remember when Naomi saved 52? If the show wanted to show that choice as a mistake, it would be more plausible that success.
Yeah.
They do throw curveballs. I'm not gonna lie.
Firing the Epstein drive that close to the ground is definitely not normal practice, but it was a great scene just to watch all of those people burn.
I don't think that was an Epstein drive because you saw fire and things. I think that is a chemical. Once again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just going from all the NASA bullshit I've watched over the years. So take this with a grain of salt. But my theory is, and the idea I have is that they were either solid or liquid rocket fuel to get them up to space, and then they use the Epstein drive from then on to go to Luna.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm just some asshole on the internet. I don't know these things.
We're just assholes on the internet.
I'm some schmo in Idaho.
I think they're supposed to wait until they got up higher before they started the big reactor. Yeah, but it was a great fucking scene. Hey, Brian Batcher, welcome back from last week. Peaches had a throttle wide open to the point that they were all pinned to the deck.
They had to. They wanted to get the hell off Earth real bad.
Yep, they did. Half of them looked like they were passed out on the way up to space too. So
yeah,
I thought there for a second they were actually going to kill off Eric during that sequence. Yeah, I don't want Eric to go anywhere yet. I'm starting to enjoy that character.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, because I know I've had the same way. That was my thing too. I was like, don't kill him.
Like I've mentioned this before, but this show does a really good job with secondary and third characters. They make them so memorable that like you hate to see them. Remember Tiny? Fuck, he was in one episode, but boy, you remember him.
Oh, he was in what? He was in 3 episodes.
Okay, yeah, mostly in 1 episode, but I mean, Tiny. I mean, he was just. He was not an important character, but yet the show found a way to make them memorable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's great how they do that. Let's see. So, say whatever, but Marco manipulated Philip with the truth.
Well, yeah, I see. And as soon as
Marco saw it.
Yeah, that's what manipulators do. Yeah, they manipulate the truth.
Yeah, and this
Have a long conversation about perspectives. And especially the thought process behind perspectives, because it goes into both psychology and the person wielding the aforementioned supposed truth. But and
him saying, to Philip being like, she left us again. That was just to elicit an emotion and hug him and doing that whole sequence. But I don't know. I think I hope. Oh, to me, anyways. I hope Philip has kind of realized that his dad's kind of full of bullshit a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping Philip's going to be the one that's going to turn the tides on this whole fucking thing. I think that's what they're trying to set up.
Every so often, Philip kind of looks at Marco and goes, "What the fuck are you smoking? It's good." And no, I don't want to share.
Yeah, he has a look where, like, ever since he talked to Drummer and to his mom about everything that's gone on, he's kind of been like, he's seen the other side of things, and I hope, and once again, him being, as young as he is, he's very manipulative or manipulatable, whatever you want to say, that he's kind of smartened up a little bit and realized that, this is really crazy. And I think you're right. He's the only one who could get in close enough to Marco to actually do something to stop him. So
I don't think it's the budget. I feel like they're setting up 6 to have no filler episodes. I kind of hope so, because I don't want season 6 to have a bottle episode. It doesn't. If
season 6 is like season 2, I'll be really happy, because season 2 was fucking dense. And if you ever watch, for anybody who's ever watched, the first 2 seasons, they're really dense to get through. It doesn't let up until about halfway through season 3, and then you kind of like calm down a little bit, you can take a breath.
You don't get a lot of time to breathe. Yeah,
yeah, because there's so much going on. But it is so much fun. That's why I love the show, because it being less episodes, there's more stuff that they've stuffed into them, and they feel so good because there's so much going on. It's so exciting, and there's so much story to tell and things. I fucking love it. But yeah, I do hope for season 6 that we get, like, when they do the episodic stuff again, we do constantly go from like boom, like 10, like 10 out of 10 episodes all the way through. That'd be great.
All right, fellas, here's our first question of the night. Doc Brown says, do you guys think Bobby and Alex had their plot dropped before filming or dropped after the thing with Cass?
I mean, like, I feel
that's bait.
Sorry.
Oh no, I feel sorry for Bobby Draper, because she's stuck in the situation. It's not even, she's stuck in the damn Razorback with Alex. I feel bad for that. But I think
does Alex rape Bobby then?
Hey.
No, wait. He takes a shower.
Don't be mean. We don't have to be mean. Because remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
You pulled out that movie? Damn it, man.
I pulled a Buckaroo Banzai on the conversation.
Who knows what Buckaroo Banzai is anyways?
I'm fucking old, okay?
It's a good movie. I'm not saying anything. It's very obscure. But the thing is that, like, I don't know. I think they're trying. It seems like they're making Bull the new Alex on the Rossi. I don't know what's happening with them. I mean, for them to be in space that long and just kind of like, try to find these ships seems odd. Like, they found them and then they lost them, and then they're still in the Razorback for some reason, because they got away from them, and they're doing nothing. Seems odd, because they're both people of.
That's kind of one of the things I don't like about the whole crew being split up, is I feel like this is one of those seasons where they don't know what to do with characters. This is part of my complaint. I don't know if you remember, Nick, when I was reviewing Stranger Things season 3. Okay. Stranger Things season 3, one of my gripes about that season was that the cast has become so bloated that they're literally looking for things for the characters to do. And they're doing so little with those characters that it's like, you're just doing something just to have that character doing something. It's not really doing anything to propel the story forward that far. I don't feel like this is that scenario, but it feels like it's almost that scenario. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. But the whole thing with Cass and the situation is weird, and I think if they're gonna kill him off, they're gonna kill him off in the next episode.
They have to. There's only one episode left.
Yeah, because we know for a fact he's not in season 6. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, he's not going to be in season 6, so it's going to be aggravating to figure out how they write him out. It's either going to be in the next episode, which I doubt that it will be, because this was all filmed before all that shit happened. So what will probably happen is when season 6 starts, they'll have a flashback. They'll write him out off screen,
Yeah. They might do a dialogue dump and just be like, "Oh, Alex did this, or he had to go back, or he died of fucking cancer or something. Who knows?"
He got arrested for sexual harassment.
He died of sexual harassment.
He died of sexual harassment. Oh
If he dies of space cancer, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off.
Space herpes, dude.
Space herpes. Jesus. But I mean, like, yeah, and that's a shitty situation. But I understand what they're doing and how it all came to be and stuff like that. Is fucking a unique situation for sure. But man, it's
aggravating. Yeah,
it's damn aggravating what it is.
You know, it's something like it's amazing how one thing like that can just put a whole sore in the entire fun that we've been having from this show. You know what I mean? It's like they literally have to work everything around that. You know, so Buzz Nacho says Doc. Oh, okay, you're talking to Doc Oven. Gotcha. So yeah, Prax. That's the character that we were trying to remember the name Prax. Marco has Medina Station equipped with heavy weapons and wants to take and keep the ring space.
Ooh, oh yeah, that's something they were talking about. A while ago. I fucking forgot about that. Mm-hmm.
And then Doc Brown says Eric destroyed that entire area single-handedly. It was a great exit. It was fucking fantastic. He just says, fuck that. That thing is awesome. Hey, Richard Greeter, welcome to the chat, buddy. Glad to have you here. So, Explosive Merv says, damn, that Pal Station is gone. Tycho Station is on fire. This is nuts. Brian Bachelor says, looked like Bun Girl was in an airlock and it was removing equipment. Okay. Drummer's family on Pella or Surge, I think it's called. Yeah, I'm not betting high on their survival. Naomi, too much about herself to sacrifice herself. So, yeah. I'm not going to fault you for being late, Richard Greeter. Just glad that you're here, buddy. Surge on the Pella adapted well. He is having no issues for drama. Buzz Nacho says it said fusion reactor on the screen. Eric clicked. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So then I'm wrong. I'm entirely wrong. Then that's entirely fine. That's entirely fine. Because once again,
I went back and I looked through the scenes. I didn't see it say that, but I mean,
unless somebody's watching it in 4K or 6K, but.
I watched it in 4K, but I don't always pick up on everything because I have old man eyes. So you are right. They lift on chemical rockets. Yeah, absolutely.
Because like once again, like that's just very, very limited knowledge about NASA and what they do and how some of these things work in theory. So once again, take what I say with a grain of salt.
The reactor would have to be online to provide power for the ship.
Well, they were also testing they were testing the reactor because the power coupling is what didn't let it go through. So I assume they couldn't take off without it for some reason. But once again, what do I know about a nuclear Epstein drive that theoretically exists 500 years from now? So
actually, no, I'm just kidding.
No. You got to do this. You got to put your glasses.
Actually.
Put your glasses.
The truth is that Naomi is not a good mother. Neither Marco is a good father, but the audience is trying to manipulate the truth. Loiter in Warlands has dropped dong already. You first, buddy. You show us yours and we'll show you ours. So, Peaches is the new Rossi pilot. I agree. I think that's where we're going to go. I think Peaches is going to take over for Alex, and I'm all right with that. You guys all right with that?
Yeah.
I would rather it was Bobby Draper, but I don't think Bobby Draper's really a pilot.
No. She said that a bunch of times. I'm not a pilot. I'm a Marine.
Also, I would rather see Bobby Draper taking down people in the fucking mech suit than flying.
Yeah, I would love to see Bobby Draper be a permanent part of the Rossi for sure.
Tactical,
and definitely her and Amos doing shit together would be great. I think her being part of that crew would be awesome.
They only got one more season. They only got one more season, Nick. So they better make it count. So.
No, and like I would love to see that because I love her character, I love the actress. She does an amazing job, and I haven't gotten enough Bobby Draper this season. I want more. So I think her being in the mech suit, being a badass, especially if her and Amos have to do stuff together, would be fucking awesome.
No, White says best part of the show was Holden's look at that guy over the fuel argument. Holden does have some pretty good what the fuck looks. He's really good at that.
Well, they're also really low on PDC rounds, so
because
they can't keep using the railgun because
they
their
did that
railgun.
fucking that Death Blossom trick from
They did
several episodes ago.
Because they're low on PDCs. They haven't reloaded or resupplied or whatever, so it's going to be difficult. They can't use the railgun constantly because that takes so much power and like jars their ship back because it's a ship-sized railgun on the damn Rosie.
Elvis is spouting fake news. Well, I will address it. So if Peaches is the new pilot, then Alex and Bobby are dead in the next episode. They're not going to get rid of Bobby Draper. That would be like taking 7 of 9 out of Star Trek Voyager. That's not going to fucking happen. Okay?
Once again, these are educated guesses for sure, but we don't know anything. We don't.
It's fun to speculate. So timestamp for fusion reactor on screen 4137. But you're right. Normal practices would have them use tea kettle propulsion to get the proper altitude to activate the drive.
It looked like
Actually, no.
Well, hold on, because I know what tea kettle means in the books, and it's something that I think when Avasarala is on the roasty, he goes through like what all the things mean while she's there, because she knows nothing about what all the terms mean because she's a politician, she's not military. So he and I think what tea kettle means is they actually use the water. They use the water in the system that cools the reactor to propel them really slow, like because like water expands because once it becomes steam, it's fucking steam, and they use that to push themselves around again. I think that's what tea kettle means. So they wouldn't be using tea kettle to get off the ground. They would probably be using chemical rockets. But once again, this is the Expanse. They're allowed to fudge the lines of physics and things like that. It's okay.
Well,
Bobby with the Goliath suit and a Tycho station full of free Navy. Oof.
There's one IC that's at 4115. That it shows the fusion reactor and it says online. So I don't know what they're doing, but
I do love the chat and love how we're getting ultra nerdy now with timestamps and really trying to discuss the physics of this show. God, I love this.
Yeah, next thing we're going to have to start breaking out the fucking protractors and
Does anybody have Bill Nye or Neil deGrasse Tyson on speed dial? Because I need some questions answered.
Well,
anybody got his Twitter handle? Yeah.
As someone who worked on jet engines, that was a chemical plume going up.
Okay.
So in my experience, that was not a fusion reaction unless it was venting a whole lot of chemical waste out the butt end of your craft.
Yeah. So it would basically for a fusion rocket, it would have to be a nuclear bomb going off to set them up into space.
Exactly, and it would not have rolled the fire. You know how it cooked the Mercs?
Yeah.
Unless that they're using a very different system than current.
That's actually no. Funny you say that because we do know they do say the ship is really old, but it will get us there. So that could be the answer.
And yeah, I mean, it looked like a chemical burn to me, and the rolling fire is exactly what happens when if you go back and you watch a NASA launch or any rocket launch, it has to build up forward thrust. So it has the fire literally blossoms out the back end and spreads out and does exactly that. That's why they lift the when they had the shuttle. The shuttle, it was on a stand so that the fire could come out the bottom.
Yeah. Well, and they had water baffling, so this way it would lessen the noise and the flame of it. It would just the water was just kind of there to make sure it didn't burn anything, and it was there for a lot of reasons basically. And
a NASA launch in Central Florida would break windows in Miami. So I mean, yeah, the overpressure could have done that.
Mhm.
But, it's one of those things that it was an older ship, so we're geeking out on it.
It's fun though,
Yeah, we are.
and that brings me to my next comment here. It says, "I only speak the truth because I see things from all perspectives, not just from the protagonist perspective." And that's why I have assembled this cast of people that you see right here between Flare X and Nick and I. We are not afraid to tell our own opinions to each other. We come from backgrounds where we've had our opinions put on blast for the silliest of fucking reasons, and we love that. We were talking about this off air. As soon as we ended last week's live stream, we were talking about how this is our favorite part of the stream: interacting with you guys, geeking out about a TV show, not arguing about politics. You know what I mean? Just talking about fun stuff. This is great conversation. All right, so did no point ever think that we'll ever discount your comments. We may agree with them, we may not, but we still love the fact that you are interacting with us the way that you are. So we appreciate the hell out of this. This is a lot of fun for us to do. This is our favorite part of the show. But we do have to get into our scores for the show. So which one of you fabulous gentlemen would like to go first in grade? As you know, I grade on a cheese curd scale, 1 to 5, 1 being Limburger, 2 being government cheese, 3 being Velveeta, 4 being provolone, and then of course smoked Gouda being the best. Who would like to go first?
I'll go. It's fine.
All right, Alex, you got it.
Alex.
I'm going to take that as like I look as Alex, so I'll just take it as that.
Alex, we used to have a guy on our show called Alex, didn't we? What happened to him? No, go ahead, Nick. I'm just fucking with you.
I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5 because the last 2 or 3 have been 4 out of 5. So I'll give this 5 out of 5 because the oneer was great and worth it. It did elevate the episode and the tension and everything. The technical aspect of it is not a joke, especially when you have to do it multiple times. It becomes a pain in the ass. And also doing it in that kind of weather with so many people, it's ridiculous. The stuff with avasarala standing up and taking, instead of just kind of doing her thing and rolling over and whatever, she took a stand and said, screw this, I'm gonna not be part of this. I was really proud of that. Hopefully seeing Naomi find an out. I mean, she got the connection to that helmet. Hopefully that can do more than just telemetry or whatever she was doing with the ships or something. This was a lot more fun, and I think the last couple have been really, like, we've slogged through them, and this season has kind of been really slow, and like, because we're used to it being so fast, so it's been kind of slow for us to kind of get through it. But yeah, it's still a good episode. Hopefully the next one is good, and I pray we don't get a cliffhanger, but I'll still take it.
Yeah, I'll be angry if we get a cliffhanger. I guess I'll get out of the way then. I am still going to go 4 on this one, and the reason I'm going with the 4 is to piggyback a little bit off of what Nick said. It is a slower season compared to what we're used to. I feel like we spent way too much time on Earth, and it feels to me like we spent a lot of time on Earth so that we didn't have to come up with the exotic sets or locations or CG. I hope that's not the case. I feel like they did the best with what they have, all right? But I feel like we spent way too much time on Earth. I'm a little irritated that Alex and Bobby have been in a tin can for like this entire season, just on their way to something or leaving something or then on their way to something else. I want the band to get back together. I want it to be Razanade versus the universe again. I'm kind of selfish that way. So, but I do think that this episode, last week I gave it a 3. This one's definitely a 4, mostly for that action scene and also the fact that I'm liking this arc that we're getting from chrisjen avasarala. I think eventually she's going to take over and hopefully turn things around because, things are getting very ugly in this war here. So I'm going to turn it over to Flare X. What did you think of this one?
And now that I'm having a hard time because I'm bouncing between 4 and 5. But if we're going to be honest, I'll probably go 5, just for the fact that Peaches going on a killing spree after trying to be the peacemaker
Peach is the peacemaker.
kind of like you pushed the button. You saw the red flashing button. You knew it was a bad sign, but you couldn't keep your finger off of it. And it's right there. I had to push it.
It's a pretty button.
And it's such a pretty thing. And then death happened. It's like, and that that line, I'm gonna say it. Remind me never to piss her off.
Right.
I can just see myself saying that. It's like, okay, there's dead people all littering the ground everywhere. I am not pissing that woman off. No. No.
The funniest thing about that is that line was 80 yard for like afterwards.
Oh, you know it is.
The only thing that scene was missing was let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit
if they had hit that song and then that was the fight for that entire song, I would have been like, what did they do?
That's the only thing they were
They
missing.
spent some money on the music, but that would have kicked ass if they had fucking started that song as soon as like the one guy got shot in the head with the sniper. That would have kicked it up to 13 for sure.
Yeah. Little known fun fact: I saw Drowning Pool at Ozfest about 3 days before that guy died. So that was weird. That was really weird. So. But yeah, I was a fan as well. So we got a couple more questions here. We want to get into some predictions. Looks like the guys that really want to do predictions, and hey, let's go ahead and do that. So let's see. Doc says, I know everything about politics. Polly swallowed a clock, now politics. Oh my God. That is a you know what? Just for you. All right. Let's see. Where's my favorite clip here? This one's for you, Doc. You earned this. There you go. All right. So all right.
You also need that one. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Rossi Railgun could take out less maneuverable non-military ships than go toe-to-toe with MCRN corvettes.
That's true. Well, I think anyways. But I know.
That's why we got to get the Rossi back into the show.
I know.
What I mean, it's like they're on their way to stuff and not doing stuff.
Yeah, and I know railguns are ridiculously powerful because I know that the MCRN heavy freighters used a lot of them, or at least had like one frigates. Yeah, had more than. Didn't they have more than one flare?
They had two United Nations Navy ships and one MRN.
Okay, no. I'm talking about the railguns on the MCRN heavy freighters.
Oh yeah, they've got more than one railgun per.
Okay.
The heavier the ship, the heavier the armament. So you'll figure, because goes up to the battleship sizes, and those railguns are probably. They've got a dozen of them, and you can fire in different directions at the same time.
Jeez. Yeah.
Do y'all have any predictions on what Naomi's final plan is? I think it's got to have something to do with water pipes, but other than that, I got nothing. I was trying to think about that too a little bit last night, and then I had to stop and do another show, so I lost my train of thought. But yeah,
I kind of see it as, or what's the Dr. Strangelove? She's gonna ride that bomb in.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're alluding to the fact that she's going to put the suit back on and jettison herself from the ship at just the right moment, and hopefully somebody picks her up as quick as possible because she has this much air.
I kind of wonder what's going to happen between Drummer, Marco, and because Marco's coming back to finish the deal with Naomi. Drummer wants to save Naomi, so there's permutations that could go any which way but loose here, and it's like, holy shit, where do you want me to start prognosticating?
Yeah, dude.
I think they're going to save all that shit for season 6.
I hope not, man. I really do,
I
because
feel
once
like
again,
they're going to.
I'll be mad at it, but I'll still.
It's going to be too much to cram into 45 minutes, man. There's no fucking way they're going to.
Well,
get
I
it
mean,
all.
they might extend the episode because they're not really under a real time constraint. They're not really doing real TV shows.
Oh,
like
that reminds me. Next week, I will just make this announcement now, since we're getting to that. We're over an hour now already. Next week, we're going to watch it live. So we want everybody to queue it up and watch it with us. We're going to do a genuine reactionary. We're going to watch it together as we stream. So we can't show it in the window, but you'll be able to queue it up and watch it with us.
Next week what we'll do is we'll start the live stream as soon as we can. Hopefully 9:30, 10, whenever. Yeah.
Also, next week, one of you is gonna win this. Okay, either by trivia or maybe the best question of the night will win this copy of this book here. So not this one. I got one that's in the shrink wrap. You'll get that one. This is my copy. Can't have this one.
Yeah, so we are what we are going to do next Wednesday is we are going to queue up the episode, watch it live, and then talk about it afterwards. So it's going to be an extra long episode of this. I was really nerding out on what's going on and everything, and discussing it. So it's going to be a super long one. As Adam pointed out, he is going to give away a shrink wrap brand new art book. There will be a question, one question, maybe two, who knows. And
no, Elvis, I will still be at work at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 Pacific. And yeah, I still have 2 hours of work. So sorry, no.
My prediction is that we'll see Lieutenant Babbage and Admiral Salvatierre next week, and they will make their move. Probably, yeah. I think that will definitely be a part of it.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be one hell of an episode. I hope it's action packed from beginning to end, and I hope it's a little bit longer than the other ones, and we kind of get a closure on that. So,
their actors are on the. You see, I don't want to peek ahead like that, Doc. I try to go into these things as blind as possible, but I get where you're coming from. You can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've
to figure out who's coming back just by the IMDb.
Yeah, I've read four like the first 4 books now from the 4 seasons of the show, and I don't read them until after I'm done watching the show. And we're going to do something. Me and Flair. Hold on. There we go. I can do it like this. Flair. I'm going to run through the book as quickly as humanly possible. And as soon as I get through it, we're going to do a live stream about book 5. Not season 5, but book 5. And it's going to be me and Flair getting super ultra fucking nerdy and talking about heavy details of the book. So be prepared for that.
If you like it, we will do it for every book. If
Elvis is telling us Marco's not coming back; he's heading into the ring.
100%, man, 100%. I don't know what his end game is, so we'll see.
I think his end game all along has been start a war, and then while everybody's distracted, take the ship for himself. What he does with it remains to be seen. Marco will use Surge as leverage to do, or he dies.
Yeah, well, I mean,
no, it will not be 7. We already agreed that's way too early for any of us.
Well, I mean, Marco still got the protomolecule, so I don't know what he's going to do with that either. So that's interesting. So we'll see what that's going to be. Yeah.
If my boss would pay me to come over here and do a live stream at 4 in the afternoon, I'd be here with bells on.
You don't understand. This is important. It's the Expanse. Fuck your business.
No, I'm sorry. I am not screwing off $18 just so I can come talk with you guys. I love you both. Don't get me wrong.
I will highlight this, but I do not want Flair to answer this because I don't want spoilers. So you guys can talk about that off air somewhere else. I'm digesting this piece by piece so that I can have something to look forward to. Let's see what we got here. So I think the MSC Doninger class guarding the ring is with Marco and waiting for the protomolecule to arrive.
Well, didn't they say in they destroyed the 2 UNN ships and the MRN disappeared?
Yeah, it disappeared. So it could be heading for the ring. Yeah. So and as far as we know, like as long as you fire hard and fast towards the ring and then don't fire anymore, they can't really see you. They can only identify you by your drive plume or your radio, or because they really can do radio signals either.
That's
So
what I thought. I just couldn't remember, and I was trying to refresh my memory on the show. So
balancing more ships gives them more of an advantage against Rossi. Remember, Holden and Bull are battle hardened. Fuck yes, they are.
That's why I can't wait for the band to get back together. I want the big showdown.
And Brian, that is like, and once again, you know this example. It was the fucking flower of missiles when they had to spin and fire the PDCs, and only one PDC jammed out of all that shit.
I call that the Death Blossom. That was a
Death
great
Blossom.
fucking
Yes,
move.
yeah. We'll forever call that the Death
cool.
Blossom happen.
I do the same thing. I read the books after I watch the season. Might read all the books after the season, though. Waiting for 6 might tempt me. I might be doing the same.
I'm not going to. I'm gonna hold off because I really do love the show, and I'm gonna keep saying this until it happens. Nobody would really notice the show. There won't be a flare up of fans for the next 3 to 5 years, because then
It's taking a while to catch on. Yeah.
everybody will be like, "Oh my god, the Expanse was awesome!"
You guys are part of this. Is part of the fun gang here. All the people geeking out about the Expanse, and then hopefully this spreads. Tell people about this channel. Come subscribe. Definitely.
You'll get those people that will walk up to you and go, "Oh, you're X, Y, or Z, right? You love these kind of shows. Have you ever heard of the Expanse?" and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, we were there, man. We were there, buddy.
Where were you when I was talking about it?
Yeah, it's kind of like Firefly. You ever heard of a show called Firefly? Fuck yeah, a little late now, buddy. So yeah.
How long has it been since Firefly, Adam? How long? What's the count now?
I stopped counting after a while on purpose.
Well, wherever
Put it this way, Nick. It's something that even I didn't find out about until long after. It was shortly after that movie Serenity came out. That's when I found out.
Oh wow.
About it. Yeah.
Hey, and to answer Richard Greeter, he had a comment about the 13th Warrior. Yeah, that's a really good movie, considering.
It's okay. It's all right. It's not terrible. I think it's gotten judged more harshly than maybe it should have been judged. But
I know. See, it's also I'm a huge fan of mythology, and that is a pure mythology story, and I thought they did it really well in a live action form. So, okay, back to the Expanse, because I could talk about that.
Right.
You can't.
We will curb that till later, but I think we're going to wrap it up here. I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight. Too many names to mention, but I'm glad we acknowledged everybody that was in the chat. This was a fantastic episode. Next week's going to be really exciting because it's the season finale, and then we're going to have to unfortunately go on hiatus until season 6 is complete, and then we'll be coming back with that. At some point, we're going to start reviewing the Orville. So we're going to take a little bit of a break before we start that, because a lot of us got things going on that we need to catch up with, and this has kind of been a bit of a distraction. So
we'll put out a notice when we're going to do. Nick and I are going to talk about book 5.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll give everybody like a couple of weeks notice about it coming out, but make sure you guys are subscribed, and make sure you follow us. Follow Raiders of the Lost Flicks on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so you know when the episode's coming out. In case you haven't already,
put up that Twitter right here. It's Raiders_OTLF on Instagram and Twitter. So
yeah, that's. And what's one of these things? I have to do it like this and like figure it out. There we go. Fucking camera's weird. That's my Twitter right there. So you can message me.
And I'm the only idiot that doesn't have Twitter.
And you're a better man for it.
Because Flair lives in a bunker.
He lives in a bunker.
I have to have someplace to store
on the other side of the world in an undisclosed location. Yeah. Now he has to change bunkers again, Nick.
Now I gotta go build me a new bunker. And
I'm sorry. Okay, I am sorry.
Also, some of you mentioned last week that my intro was the same as my outro, and that was on purpose. But what were you saying?
Wait, somebody said. Sevierville is on a 2-hour delay. Are you talking about Sevierville, Tennessee? Is that what you're talking about? Like, I guess, man.
Elvis just said you're the smartest one not having a Twitter. You know what though?
I still Adam needs it and Nick needs it.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Okay, I discovered that
I don't have a channel yet. I'm trying.
Hold on. I will say this about Twitter. Okay, you can tailor Twitter. And Phoenix from Loitering Wonderland taught me how to do this. You can tailor Twitter to receive the things that you want to see. You can control your feed way better than you can on Facebook. All right, Facebook is just people going off about everything nonstop all day long. Twitter limits your words, and you can Twitter what you or you can like detail what it is you see in your feed, and it helps control the content that's coming in. There's a lot more ways to control what information is coming to you that Facebook does not offer you. So, and Instagram is perfectly harmless. I never hardly ever get offended by anything on Instagrams.
It's especially when I make those nice little stories for you.
I love those. I love those. Yeah, Nick does all of our little cartoons with the Martian song on there. So
I figure that's kind of the anthem now for our little YouTube show. Also,
if I could use it for our intro, if it wasn't copyrighted, I totally would at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, V, I can't. I'm just gonna call you V. Yeah, schools. V. Yeah. How do you say his other name?
Juarez.
V. Juarez. V. Juarez. Yeah, school. School due to weather. By the way, V. Juarez. I grew up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So, that's still Sevier County, but I know how far Sevierville is from Gatlinburg. It's like 30 minutes, man. Like I grew up there. I moved to Atlanta for reasons.
Well, and Nick, it's a lot of. I don't know if anybody would want to listen to me rant or talk about some of this stuff. So it's kind of like, you know what? I'm trying.
Flair, your videos would be 16 hours long.
I'd be a freaking EFAP show. It would be like
it would be 16 hours long. About historical minutia. And the sad thing is there are people who would listen to that and who would love that shit.
Oh well, come on! How many military history?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's plenty of military history channels out there, and I'd just be one of many, sitting there going, well, I'm going to add history to the sci-fi side of this, if you like it.
That's true. Yeah, I just started a show on Netflix called Spycraft, and it's just like, oh shit. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, frightening stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, you've heard some of my background, so yeah.
Anyways, what I was trying to address was I did change the outro a little bit so that you guys know this is definitely an outro. But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Kat. You were
next week is going to be twice as long as the one that we'd had last week. So make sure you bring your popcorn and your soft drinks and get ready to queue it up and watch this show with us.
Yeah. Bring your whiskey, your Cokes, whatever. Bring your drinks. Bring your stuff. Have a good time. Bring your pizzas. Get your buffalo wings ready. Let's go.
We'll see you next week. From Raiders of the Lost Flicks, wishing you a good night. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.